3, 2, 1. What's going on, everyone? You're watching Ash on Comics. My name is Ash, and today is New Comic Book Day. That's October 28th, 2020. We still got Corona, we still got rioting, we still got a rigged election coming up. You know next year's is going to be worse. I don't know how. I don't know how. It just seems to get worse and worse, and you just like, oh, it can't get any worse than this, but surely enough, it does. Today I don't have a big video or anything, and it's coming out kind of late because I've just been busy doing other things. I got a picture of Stan Forky, but I don't have Stan Forky with me, actually. So let's just get into it. I went to In-N-Out Burger today for lunch, like I like to do. We talk about it, but I met my buddy there, and we had to eat outside because apparently there's this disease running around that kills 0.002% of the population. And you can't eat inside. Anyways, we had to eat outside. So we were eating outside, and I wasn't going to film and do stuff. I just feel like a dork. I already feel like a dork doing it the way that I do it anyway. I took a snapshot of our burgers right before we chowed down. There's my burger on the bottom, his on the top. He gets his all well done. He likes hockey pucks. But whatever. They're delicious. You can get spread packets on the side. That's a by the way, if you ever go In-N-Out, you don't know about this, spread, you get on the side, put it on your fries. It's damn delicious. Now, I didn't actually put mine on my fries today because I got a vanilla shake. Dip your fries in the vanilla shake. That's also fantastic. And if you think I'm a heathen, well, you just don't know any better. But so this is my lunch. Like I said, I don't have really a big video to do today, but I want to kind of keep on track of doing a comic haul every other week. And this was the week that I'm supposed to do it. So I'm just going to get that out there. And hopefully next week I'll actually have something. Maybe I'll talk about, I don't know. I'll just keep doing comic haul videos. And then every once in a while, when I have something to talk about, I'll call it an Ash Wednesday video. And when there's nothing really, no topic, it's just comic haul. Just call it the comic haul video. That's it. Thanks for watching me. Anyone who follows my channel, appreciate it. I hope you're having fun reading comics. I hope you're really enjoying the hobby. I know I get really salty sometimes about books that are out, and sometimes it's fun to kind of bitch and moan and roast the trash that's out there. But really, I'm in this hobby because I love comics, and I like the people who are into comics also. It's so much fun meeting other fans like myself, sharing what we like, what we don't like. So many of the comics I read is because I met people like you guys, and you turned me on to things, and I tried them. One of the old things that I'm constantly going on about is how I used to think that comic was total trash until I tried it. Eric Breen makes fun of me. He's a regular viewer of the channel. He's been one of my longest viewers. He really makes fun of me because he's like, oh yeah, but it's true. Some of my favorite comics, like Hawkman, is one of my favorite books. But I didn't read Hawkman I've been around comics for 35 years and didn't start reading them until last year because I thought Hawkman was stupid. And sometimes you just have to face your prejudices and go, you know what? I'm going to keep an open mind. I'm going to try. I'm okay with being wrong. I'm right a lot of times. When I know I'm right, I have a strong opinion, but I'm okay with being wrong. And I think that's what makes you more inclined to be right. Because if you're open to being wrong, you won't be wrong for very long. Someone's going to correct you, and you're going to be like, oh, I need to change my stance on this. So I think that's maybe the best thing I can talk about in this video is keep open minds about things, not just comics, life. You might be right. You might be, right? But keep an open mind. Keep listening to other people, because only one of two things is going to happen. Either they're going to you're going to keep open mind. You're going to hear what they have to say and see their perspective. And it's going to reaffirm to you, yep, I gave that a shot. I really did. And it really makes me even more confident in my position. Or you're going to be like, oh my goodness, that's a whole perspective I wasn't aware of. If you're locked down and you're just like, nope, I'm absolutely positive, I'm not even going to listen to contrary opinions. One of my biggest pet peeves is when people go, this is what I think and no one's going to change my mind. That's a sign of an idiot right there. No one's going to change. How do you... What? People can change my mind. Oftentimes, when I sound really arrogant or confident about something, it's because, maybe in my 47 years, I've evaluated this many times, argue with people. But things like Hawkman, I didn't. I was an idiot. I like it. Anyways, that's it for now. I said I wasn't going to talk about stuff, and then I found something to talk. I can always find something to talk about, just whether it's boring. That was boring. Let's move on to the comics. So here is my comic haul for the past 2 weeks. As always, show your receipts, $40. I'm really starting to pare down. I was trying to get under $25 a week, and now that's about $20 a week. It's starting to feel good, but I don't know. I'm getting a little bit dismayed with mainstream comics. Not because they're necessarily terrible. They're still good mainstream comics, but I don't want just a handful of good mainstream comics. It's disappointing when you go to a company and you're like, there's like 3 books that I really like. Or in the case of DC, there's probably like 5 or 6, but I want to invest in the whole universe. Even if I don't buy the comics in the whole universe, I want to, I want it to be alive. I want there to be options sometimes if I do. I don't want, if over 50% of your product line is garbage, even the stuff that is good gets infected by it. Case in point, we're going to start off today with the Marvel books. Now, the first Marvel book I got is Daredevil. This is consistently the best book at Marvel, hands down. I know some people like to trash on the last issue. I think that's a bunch of bullshit, to be honest. I did a video on issue 22. Go watch it for basically not parroting the talking points that everyone's just like, oh, look, Daredevil asked billionaire Tony Stark to give away his money. That's so progressive and bullshit. It's really not. It's really people, in my opinion, looking for things to bitch about. That book was not a perfect book by any means, but neither was it the problem. I think just people were looking to try to find a problem. It was a fine book, and it still continues to be a good book. Mark Cicchetto doing the art. I'm happy. And then there's Venom. Oops, I probably should have held that one up. You can see the cover. I'm trying to not get the glare. I'm behind on this story, to be quite honest with you. As I get older, my memory is really just not sharp. And what I find reading monthly comics, sometimes it's difficult because I just don't remember what happened. So sometimes I just let them stack up a little bit. And with modern comics, it's all arcs anyway. So that's generally what will happen is I'll just this arc, boom, then blast through them. But I've been enjoying Venom. The earlier, first 12 issues of Venom were a lot better than the later issues, but it's not at all a bad book. It's still worth buying, worth collecting. I wish Ryan Stegman was on art, but Marvel decided to yank him to just do event stuff, and it's kind of irritating, to be quite frank. Moving on to DC. Those are the only 2 Marvel books I got in a 2-week period. Moving on to DC, Justice League Dark. This is a book I like collecting. I did not think I was going to like Justice League Dark because of the characters. None of the characters interest me individually. I'm not a Wonder Woman person. I'm not a Swamp Thing person. I'm a Detective Chimp. Are you kidding me? But somehow it works. Altogether it works. It's kind of like I was talking to my buddy the other day about drinks. And the topic of, we were talking about gin. He hates gin. I don't like gin and stuff. And I was like, it's funny. I really hate gin and I really hate tonic water. But when I put gin and tonic together, it tastes good. I don't understand. That's kind of like a Justice League Dark. You throw it together and it works. Then there's Justice League. I'm sort of just on cruise control on this. I've been kind of trade waiting death metal, and but I've been getting the Justice Leagues because it is Josh Williamson, and I am the kind of person, if it's a book that I buy and you're doing an event, like, I'm going to get those books. Obviously, I'm not going to stop buying the book just because of the event. So I like Josh Williamson quite a bit. He's one of the best things over at DC. Speaking of Josh Williamson and DC, we have Batman, Superman. This is where you get your good Batman and your good Superman. This is where I turned to when Tom King and Bendis were shitting the bed. I had this book, and it's good. Josh Williamson's a good writer. Then we've got Detective Comics. I still haven't finished Joker War. I'm so behind. I've been focusing a lot on indies, but this is interesting. I noticed who's next? The chilling debut of the Mirror. So we got a new character. So if you are a speculator, man, I gotta tell you, Batman, DC's doing some smart things on the collector side. Introducing new characters makes the potential for books to be hot because you get first appearances. Books that are hot and collectible makes people want to buy the books because they don't want to miss out on collector's items. Wanting to buy the books makes sales goes up. Sales goes up. Gee, I can't even talk right. That makes sales go up. When sales go up, good things happen. You can invest more on the book. You can pay for better artists, better writers. It's good all around. This is something DC has constantly just been almost completely ignorant about. It's like, you got to think of your comics as collector's items. Phony bullshit like fake scarcity, the variant covers, gimmicks. I hate that stuff. That's not real collectible. Collectibles are what the people decide. You can't decide for them, right? Now, you can throw out first appearances and hope that character hits off, like, say, Deadpool, right? Good luck getting a first appearance of Deadpool today. Once upon a time, it was in the dollar bins. But the people have to decide. There's other tons of first appearances of characters that no one cares about. Speaking of first appearances, I don't think there's any first appearance in here, but I got Batman. Batman's like the staple at DC. You buy DC Comics, you buy Batman. All right, that's all the DCs I have, and then the rest of my books are independents. We'll go on. Undiscovered Country. I've talked about this quite a bit. This is a book I wasn't really sure I was going to get into. I was curious because I do like Scott Snyder, and I always like new creative ideas. Got the first issue, checked it out. I was like, it's okay, it's good, it's fine. But, you got a budget and you got to make the cut. Just because you're good doesn't mean you're good enough. But I kept reading the book through issue 4 and decided I was going to collect it because it just got better and better. The artists seemed to get better. The concept, this one keeps me wanting to know what happens next. And that's what comics should do. You should keep wanting, like, that next issue. Here's another book that's really a lot of people are sleeping on. I get this. I love Sid Mead as an artist, even though these are kind of more of his throwaway art. But I love Sid Mead as a futurist, and I like Blade Runner. And if you look closely, Michael Green is the writer. He's the guy that wrote Blade Runner 2049. This book is solid. It features an all-new female protagonist, Blade Runner, named Ash. It has no correlation to why I buy the book, but I like that it's a completely different Blade Runner. It's a completely different storyline than either of the two movies, but yet it fits in the Blade Runner world very well. It makes me feel like that Blade Runner is not a one-trick pony, that you can do more. As a matter of fact, as far as Blade Runners go, the idea of Blade running, or whatever that is, Ash is the best. Like, it's the most interesting. The original Blade Runner movie and its sequel are really more about the idea of what it means to be alive and things like that. It's really not about blade running. if that's a real thing. So this one is, and it's cool ideas. And then finally, last, certainly not least, my favorite book on the shelves, Ascender. Issue 14 is out. We're almost to the halfway mark, assuming there's going to be 32 issues. This book is phenomenal. And as I say many, many times, you do not have to have read Descender at all to read this book. It's beautiful in how they've constructed this sequel. It works completely on its own. If you have read Descender, you're going to see stuff in here that you're like, oh, yeah. Just like the Star Wars prequels. You can watch the original trilogy. You don't need the prequels at all. Obviously, they were designed that way. But if you see the prequels first and then you watch Star Wars trilogy, you're going to like, oh, I know who Anakin Skywalker. Like it's going to have stuff. So you can do either or. And I think that's fantastic. I like this better than Descender. Descender's great too. I have the hardcover omnibuses, the two volume omnibus set. Get this book. Read this book. It's fantastic. This makes me happy. And speaking of making me happy, I was just browsing, just kind of leisurely at the comic book store today and going through the back issue bin, making Breen proud of me. And I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go over to this section. I did not think at all I was going to see this in there. This is a creator of mine that I love. One of my absolute loves from back in the 80s when I was into comics. I read a comic called Gru the Wanderer. And it was one of those books. It was the original book. I'd say these stories all the time where I go, that looks stupid. And then someone convinces me to try it out. And I have to eat my words and be like, oh, it's not stupid. It's now my favorite book. Hawkman. So Gru the Wanderer became one of my favorite books. I went on to collect every Gru that I could. And I came across recently on digital form Sergio Aragone's Stomps Star Wars. So I picked that up, and I found out there were two more, but not available in digital. He did one for Marvel and one for DC. Sergio Aragone's Massacres Marvel, and Sergio Aragone's Destroys DC. So my comic book store had this. It was only $4. If they're one-shots, all of them. This has now gone into my... This has kind of gone into my treasure hunt phase. Like, this is the fun part of collecting comics, when you find something you need to find and want to collect. So I want to get the Massacres Marvel and Stomp Star Wars. Basically, it'll be a trilogy. Not really a trilogy. Just 3 different comics that share a similar theme. And maybe frame them up together. I love Sergio Aragone's. And, of course, I love Marvel and DC Comics. And I love Star Wars. So putting them all together, when I found this, it's super clean. It looks... When I look at it, it looks like near mint condition. So, very awesome. If Englentine watched my videos, I would say, Englentine, be on the lookout for these so I can bid on your auction. But he doesn't watch my videos, so sorry, Englentine, I can't bid on your auction. That's just a throwaway joke to someone who's not even going to hear it. I'm so happy about this. Back issues can be so much fun. Anyways, that's it. What do you think? I think I got a pretty good haul. I'm really excited about indies. Speaking of indies, if you haven't checked out every other Monday, starting this past Monday, and then a week from this coming Monday on the 9th, we'll be doing our first actual episode after the pilot. And we're doing a show, when I say we, me and Skip and Tosh are doing a basically total fan freak out podcast about indies that we're reading and we like. We're spoiling them. We're celebrating them. We're just geeking out on them. We're inviting people to come in the chat, geek out with us, read the books, hopefully first, so you can have fun. And it's kind of like a water cooler talk. And we're just going to talk about comics and just, spaz. Not spaz, not really spaz, but, just love them. And be what, like, comics. I spend so much time being salty. I had so much fun last Monday going with him and doing our first kind of Rocky episode. You can go watch the playback. We're going to also be throwing them up on iTunes, whatever podcast. I have to get with Skip on that. So for people that maybe want to hear in a different format, maybe on your way to work, while you're at work, you can get them, and we'll be having them in podcast format. And it's just going to be every 2 weeks, ongoing comics. Right now it's books like Decorum and Firepower. We're going to dedicate to those books, and then we might throw in other books as time goes on, and it's just each issue. So if you're collecting those books, you're going to have a destination spot to come and hear what we thought about it, throw in your input, and just, have a good, fun time, sharing your enthusiasm. We're also doing a thing where we're reading through trades that of series that have been out, and we're going to read them through kind of, not in real time, but, over time. And the one we're doing now is East of West. We're going to do the entire East of West series. You can get them on Comixology Unlimited for no extra charge if you have a subscription. So you can read through that whole series. We're going to just read one volume every 2 weeks, though. So if you want to binge through the whole series, or if you've already read it, that's fine. But I think what I'm looking forward to doing, and I'm going to do, is I'm not going to read ahead. I'm going to read volume 1, and we're going to be discussing it on the 9th. It's Monday, 7:30 p.m. Pacific, and we're going to geek out about that book just like it was coming out today. So if you're a person who missed the boat, and you're like, back issues are cool, you get to read them and have fun, but you don't get to talk about them because everyone's already read them. They're like, yeah, I've been there, done that. Well, now you're going to get to be able to talk with people like me who haven't read them and share that enthusiasm. And if you have, just come here and see if I'm as jazzed about it as I hope to be. So thank you for watching this far. I know it wasn't a big anything, just a comic book haul. Some dude throwing some books on his bed. But this is the fun part about comics. This is why I do these videos. Man, I'm not talking. Why I do these videos. Just because I love sharing my enthusiasm, the fun. I went to the comic store. I hung out for like an hour and a half today. Just shooting the shit with the staff. Going through the back issues, just enjoying books. Speaking of which, I don't have my burgers because you saw, I went to In-N-Out with my buddy, so I didn't have a burger to show off. But look, one of the girls there made cupcakes. I don't know why they're green, but homemade cupcake. And she passed out, and then she gave me cookies. And I just dox myself. If she ever comes across these videos, she's gonna be like, "Damn it, I know who that is." So, anyways, thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe, leave a thumb up or a thumb down. If you do leave a thumbs down, just tell me how it can improve the show, make it better for you. And I guess if I can't make it any better, if I just suck that bad, I'm sorry. But I'm having fun. I hope you're reading good comics. Share in the comments yourself, what comics are you pulling? I like to know. I like to see what other people are reading. What people spend their money on is usually the best advocacy of a book, right? People can tell you, oh, it's a good book. But until I see you spending your hard-earned cash on books, is it really that good? And everything I read, a lot of it is because of people like you, everyone, other people, word of mouth said, hey, try this out. It's really good. So, yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.